In this video lesson on linear equations, we want to take slope-intercept equations and change them to standard linear equations. Last video we did it the other way around. This one we want to convert to standard form. There are a few situations where we would need to rewrite equations in standard form, so it's important for us to understand how to do that. Really, if you remember the last video, all we're going to do is just work backwards. Let's give an example. If we take the equation y equals 3/2 x plus 10, and we want to write that in standard form, you will notice that it is in slope-intercept form. 3/2 is the slope, and 10 is the y-intercept. What we want to do, very first thing, is to find the least common multiple of all the fractions that are in the equation. In this case, there's really only one fraction, that's 3/2. So we are going to multiply both sides of the equation by 2 in order to get rid of the fraction. So we take y times 2, we take 3/2 x times 2, and we take 10 times 2. Once we do that, it will simplify to 2y equals 3x plus 20. You'll see that the fractions are now gone. The last step of this is to get the x onto the same side of the equation as the y's. So in this case, we are going to subtract 3x from both sides of the equation. On the right hand side, the 3x minus 3x will cancel out, and we're left with negative 3x plus 2y equals 20. Now, for most purposes, we're done. This is written in the form of ax plus by equals c, where a is negative 3, b is positive 2, and c is 20. However, when we solve Khan Academy problems, they request all standard equations be in the form ax plus by equals c, with a being positive. Well, in this case, we have a negative a that equals to 3, so we're going to need to change that to positive. The way we do that is we're going to multiply everything in the equation by negative 1. So if we take negative 1 times negative 3x, we take negative 1 times 2y, and we take negative 1 times 20, that simplifies to 3x plus negative 2y equals negative 20. And that is written in the standard form of the equation, ax plus by equals c, with a being a positive number. Let's do another example. In this case, we have the equation y equals negative 8 over 15x plus 1/20. Now, this equation is in the form y equals mx plus b again, with the slope being negative 8/15 and the y-intercept being 1/20. We want to first of all find a least common multiple. In this case, our denominators are 15 and 20. If you take the multiples of 15 and the multiples of 20, the smallest one that they have in common is 60. So we are going to multiply both sides of the equation by 60. When we do that, 60 times y is 60y. If we take 60 times negative 8/15, that simplifies down to negative 32x. And if we take 60 times 1/20, that simplifies to 3. Now we need to move the negative 32x to the other side of the equation. We do that by adding 32x to both sides of the equal sign. And we're left with 32x plus 60y equals 3. Now, if we're looking, we want to make sure that a is positive. In this case it is. So even if we were working this equation on Khan Academy, we would be done. And the final answer then would be 32x plus 60y equals 3. as I mentioned when we were writing slope-intercept equations, it goes the same way. We're standard equations. We want to make sure that we're very organized in our work. You should use lined paper with each step on a separate line so that you can make sure that you eliminate costly mistakes like negatives changing to positives and positives changing to negatives, or improperly simplifying fractions. The more neat and organized you are, the fewer mistakes you're going to make.